Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for not being in class today. I had a doctor's appointment. Got to have several tests run today. I'm going to review something before we move on today because I think it's helpful for us in explaining where we're going. We have previously had two binomials that we have multiplied. And what we have done is we have, because these are back-to-back parentheses, we have distributed this x and gotten x squared. We have taken that x and multiplied it times the 4, positive 4, and then we've taken this negative 3 times an x. And finally, then, we have taken that negative 3 and we have multiplied it times this 4, and to get negative 12. Now, this process has gotten a tricky name to it, so let's talk about what that is. This x and this x are the first terms in each of these binomials. First here, first here. Multiplying x times the 4, those are the two outside terms. And if those are the outside, then the negative 3 and x are the inside terms, leaving us with negative 3 and 4, which are the last term in each of those binomials. That has given us the acronym, the abbreviation of FOIL, which stands for first, outside, inside, last. Now, we also know that from this we're going to combine these middle two terms because they both have an exponent of 1, they're like terms, and copy down the x squared and then negative 12. Now, my point being is that we have and are now going to be factoring things that are beyond the perfect square. So this is the first thing I want to review. The second thing I want to review is we have factored or divided, taken this trinomial and gone back to this two binomials when we have had something such as this, where we play red light, green light. This is a green light, so go on to the middle, and that tells us the signs both places. So the first thing we're going to do is find the signs, and then we're going to split the x squared, and then we're going to take 9, numbers that multiply to 9, that is 3 and 3, because that's a perfect square, and I'm going to look here at plus 3 and plus 3, and that gives me plus 6, or makes the middle fit. Because there are two of these, we had to rewrite this as a quantity squared. Now, this is all review. So where do we go from today? Well, this is the sheet that we've talked about previously, where we know that we are going to, rule number 1 is look for a common factor. Then I consider the number of terms. If it's 2 terms, then I'm looking for a difference of squares, which we have spent time with. If it's 3 terms, the first strategy is to look for those perfect squares, which is what we just did the example of. The second strategy is to do this trial and error. And I'm going to go through this and explain this to you today. That's the point of the lesson today. Meaning this is not a perfect square here and here. It's something other than that. So what would that be? Well, here's the example. And I want you to see the similarities in what it is that we have done and what is in fact new today. So I have the example of x squared plus 4x plus 3. Same thing. I'm still going to play red light, green light. This is a green light, a plus sign. tells me to go on to the middle, and it's going to give me the sign both places. So the first thing I'm going to find is the signs, just like always. I'm going to split x squared. And now I got to worry about this 3. Well, from the above example, I know this last number comes from multiplying these last two numbers together. Okay? So I have 3. And as I multiply 3, I know that's 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. I have the same sign here. So I'm going to add these products. 1 plus 3 is 4. Ding, 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 ding. This is the winner. I am going to place the 1 in the first parenthesis, and I'm going to place the 3 in the second parenthesis. And this will be more beneficial a little later on some other examples, but I wanted to show you this first. Okay, it has a reason, I have a method to my madness. So a second example is going to be x squared minus 8x plus 15. Same thing as before. I'm going to find my signs. This is a green light. I go on to the middle. It tells me the sign both places. Minus, minus. I'm going to split x squared. And again, I'm doing this as an example, not how you would do your homework. I'll show you in a minute how to do your homework. And I know this number that goes in here has got to be factors of 15. I am going to list all these factors. And yes, we are working on multiplication tables, and if you will just bear with me for a week, then you will not have to do this part anymore. I can't explain it, but these numbers that I'm coming up with right here will just appear in your head and say, oh, okay, this, and that goes there. This goes here, and that goes there. 15, these are the ways to multiply 15. And I start with the first number. 1, 2 doesn't go in there, 3 goes in there, 4 doesn't go in there, 5 goes in there. As soon as these numbers transpose, then I can copy those that are above them, and I'll pay more attention to that in just a minute. The signs are the same, so I'm still going to add. 1 and 15 is 16. That's not what's sitting in the middle. 3 and 5 equals 8. That is what's sitting in the middle, so I'm going to place a 3 here and a 5 here, and I'm going to be done. Okay? All right, so let's look at the next example. X squared minus 2x minus 8. Same thing. I'm going to play red light, green light. This is a red light. So I am going to have one of each sign. And I'm always going to put the plus in front and the minus in the back. So again, I'm dealing with signs. I'm going to split x squared. And now I'm going to look for numbers that multiply to get 8. 1 times 8, 2 times 4, 3 doesn't go into 8, 4 times 2, and see these numbers have reversed order, so I can then reverse the orders of those that are above it. 8 times 1. Now because this is a red light and I have different signs, I am going to subtract these numbers. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. That's not what I have sitting in the middle. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. That is what I have sitting in the middle. This is going to be the answer. And just for giggles, just so you understand the difference, 4 minus 2, that's a positive 2. Although the number is the same, the sign is different. And 8 minus 1 is a positive 7. Again, not what's sitting in the middle. There's only one of these that's going to work, and I'm going to copy these two numbers and put them in here just as they are. Okay? Let's do another one. X squared minus 6x minus 16. Again, this is a red light. So my signs are going to be plus, minus. I'm going to split the x squared to x times x. And then I'm going to list the factors of 16, the factor pairs of 16. And I just start with 1 goes into 16, 2 goes into 16, 3 does not, 4 does, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now it has reversed the order, so I can reverse these. Now, students ask me all the time, do I got to write all those out? Please be patient with me. Please follow my lead. Please do it for a week. Different signs means I'm going to subtract these. 1 minus 16 is negative 15, and not what's sitting in the middle. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Ding, 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 ding. That is the winner. 2 goes here, and 8 goes here. So much of this is the same with a red light, green light that we did before. Additional examples. X squared minus 8x plus 12. Playing red light, green light. This is a green light. Go on to the middle, and it tells me the sign both places. Minus, minus. Split up the x squared. And now look at the factors of 12. And 12 is one of those that has quite a few factors. 1 goes into 12. 2 goes into 12. 3 goes into 12. 4 goes into 12. But see, now these have transposed, so now I can switch the order on the 6 times the 2 and 12 times the 1. I don't have to think as hard. That's my point. The signs are the same, so we're going to add. 1 and 12 is 13. 2 and 6 is 8. Got it. 2 and 6. Done. About 3 more examples here, and I'll turn you loose. X squared plus 9x plus 20. Again, green light, move on to the middle. That's going to tell me the sign both places. Split up the x squared. And now let's talk about 20. 1 times 20, 2 times 10, 3 doesn't go into 20, 4 goes into 20, 5 goes into 20, and these numbers have transposed, so I can make 10 and 2, 20 and 1. The signs are the same, so I'm going to add. 1 and 20 is 21. 2 and 10 is 12. Again, not numbers here. 4 and 5, ding, 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 winner, 4 and 5. Okay? Now, a couple of other things just to throw in here, because yes, it matters. Yes, it is what is going to happen here. Let's say I have 2x squared minus 12x minus 32. Remember, rule number 1 is for us to always look for a common factor. Is there a common factor here? Absolutely. Absolutely. Not a big one, but 2 is our common factor. Cancel here, leaves me x squared. Negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6 times the x. And negative 32 divided by 2 is negative 16. I still must look to try to reduce this. This is just a common factor. This is a trinomial. It needs to be broken down. This is a red light, so I am going to have plus minus. I'm going to split up x squared. Those are always the same. And now I've got 16. 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4, 8 times 2, 16 times 1. Different signs. I am going to subtract these, and I am looking for a negative 6. 1 minus 16 is negative 15. 2 minus 8 is a negative 6. Ding, 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 ding. Winner. 2 in the first one, 8 in the second. So my point is here, yes, we're still playing red light, green light. Yes, we're still looking for a common factor. Once we have the common factor, we have to continue to try to break this down. The other one that is of significant importance to you is this one, negative x squared plus 6x minus 8. This is the -1 trick. We don't want this to be a -1. Although there is no other common factor, this lead term has a -1, and we're going to try to get rid of that by dividing out a -1. That has to be included as part of the answer. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. 1 divided by 1 leaves me x squared. Positive 6 divided by -1 is -6 times the x. -8 divided by -1 cancels to make positive 8. Again, this is the common factor, but I still have to factor out this trinomial. I am going to, first of all, determine the signs. This is a green light. Go on to the middle. Tells me the sign both places. Split up the x squared as x times x. And now look at the factors of 8. 1 times 8, 2 times 4, 4 times 2, and 8 times 1. I am going to subtract these. No, I'm not. I'm going to add them. They're the same. 1 and 8 is 9. That's not what's sitting in the middle. 2 plus 4 is 6. That's what's sitting in the middle. -2 and -4 makes -6. Okay? Very short lesson today. Several examples there for you. Lots of review of the same things. I will, although I'm not in class today, I will be back for Pathways. Some of you have been assigned. Some of you can, if you want to attend on your own, please come to Pathways B, if at all possible. I'll be working with some other students during Pathways A. All right? Again, I apologize. Thank you for your attention, and I will post the assignment, the notes, and the video for you in today's assignment. Okay? Look for 8.3.